It was June 2016. It had been a long winter and a cold, wet spring filled with work. My wife, Caitlin, and I were ready to go outside. It was a good thing Caitlin had made reservations for us to go on a 3-day backpacking trip in the Olympic Mountains. Previously, we had only gone on day hikes and single-night trips. This would be our first 3-day trip. Could we do it? We, and by we I mean Caitlin, planned for weeks ahead of time, figuring out what tools to bring and how much food we would need to survive. The night before, we laid out all our supplies and packed our hiking backpacks carefully. We did not want to forget anything. Forgetting something important like matches or our tent poles would make our trip impossible. In the morning, we set out early, boarding the Edmonds-Kingston ferry that would take us over to the Olympic Peninsula. But we hit a snag. I realized that in all that careful planning, I had forgot to bring my sweater and my rain jacket. So much for careful planning. If I'd forgotten to bring something this important already, how was I going to survive in the mountains for 3 days? But what choice did I have? We were too deep in to turn back. After buying me a new coat at an outdoor supply store, we arrived at the visitor center late. People going on hikes in the Olympic Mountains need to register with a ranger and then pick up a bear can, a storage container to keep bears from smelling or eating people food. Without a bear can, you cannot go hiking. Because we got to the visitor center late, most of the bear cans were gone. But a helpful and enthusiastic ranger, Ranger Bob, gave us the center's last bear can. Yay! But then, Ranger Bob asked us if we had brought ice axes. Ice axes? No, we had not brought ice axes. Ranger Bob warned us about lingering snow on the trail that could make our hike difficult. Be careful of snow left over from winter, especially along the high divide. If you slip and fall in this area, you will fall to your death. But you'll probably be fine. I was a little freaked out, but Caitlin comforted me. Now, Sean, I read a hiking report on the internet before we left. Hikers said there's no snow. And I think Ranger Bob might be a little crazy. We were determined to go have fun. So, lingering snow or no, we put on our heavy backpacks and started hiking. After we hiked around Deer Lake, we saw the mountains we would have to hike up the next day. We saw our first glimpse of snow. Would we survive the hike through High Divide? We went back to camp, set up our tent, and ate dinner. Then we went to sleep. I tried to sleep, but I kept thinking about falling off a mountainside. Ranger Bob's voice echoing in my head. Lingering snow! You'll probably be fine. You could fall to your death! You'll probably be fine. Lingering snow! You'll probably be fine. You could fall to your death!
We've got some prowlers about our campsite right now. We're real
We woke up early and made breakfast. Cooking outside is a lot of work. You have to take everything out of the bear can, get water, purify the water, boil it, and then add it to dried pasta or oatmeal. Your stove usually tastes like what you cooked the night before, so the food usually doesn't taste very good. And then you have to clean up after yourself. After eating our fill, we hiked through a meadow and up a steep cliffside. At the top, we saw more snow! Ah! But not much. And there was High Divide. We could see that the trail went along the ridge of a very tall mountain, but the trail itself was clear of snow. We had to walk carefully, as there was nothing to catch us if we fell. This part of the hike was the most dangerous and the most intense, but it was also the most beautiful. We walked down the mountains past Heart Lake, from which the Solduck River sprang. We walked down from the mountains along the river and set up camp for our second night. We woke up early again and walked 8 miles along the river.
Yes, I understand that every life must end. As we sit alone,
We talked together while we walked about how scared we, and by we I mean me, had been by what Ranger Bob told us about the snow. But we realized that since we had planned and carefully used our heads, we had stayed safe and were able to enjoy seeing amazing things in nature. Of course, we were a little tired by the end of it, but we had done it. 3 days in the woods, and we had done it together.
practiced all my sins, never gonna let me win. Under everything, just another human being. Yeah, I don't wanna hurt. There's so much in this world to make me blue.